Hi friends, today we are going to learn how to secure our SSH server. SSH, which stands for Secure Shell, is a protocol by which you connect to any Linux machine, by which you can log in your Linux machine and access the machine and run the commands to control the machine and to configure servers, etc. So it's super important to keep your SSH service secure, so no one can hack in your machine and can get unauthorized access to the machine. So there are certain things which are super easy, and we can make certain changes in the SSH service configuration which will make your server secure and keep it safe from hackers. So let's start. The first thing is we need to go to the configuration file of SSH service, which is /etc/ssh and sshd_config. So this is the configuration file for SSH service. The first important thing is the default port of SSH is port 22. So everyone knows the default port is 22. So it's always advisable to change this port to any other port. So let's make the change and define another port. Okay, this is the first thing you need to do, is to change the default port of SSH, which is 22, to any other port, whichever you like. Keep it safe. Another thing we can do is to disable the root login. Root, as you know, is the super admin for the Linux machine. It's always good to disable the direct root login and create sudo users rather than using the root user. So the parameter you need to do is, as you can see, the default parameter which comes is permit root login equals to yes. So what we can do is to change it, permit root login to no. Okay, one second, let me mute it, because the third thing we need to do is to disable the use of empty password. That is super critical, that no one can use empty passwords to log in. So let's search the phrase empty. You can, okay. So by default it's yes, because it hash. So we need to unhash it. One second. You need to unhash it and permit empty password equals to no. So it will make sure that no user can use an empty password. Another important thing you need to do is to change the client alive interval. So what it means, this is the parameter. Client alive interval is like, I log in my Linux machine and I was running some commands, but I got a call or I need to leave my machine, and I leave my SSH prompt. But what it will do, the time I define here, my session will automatically close. It will not stay alive for infinite duration. So the time which is defined here is always in seconds. So if I want to keep the alive time to 5 minutes, so 5 into 60, I need to enter it here. So it means if I log in my SSH shell and it is inactive, I'm not running any commands and it's in another window, so it will automatically close the session after 5 minutes. It's also an important security change we need to do in the SSH service. Another thing we need to do is what many hackers do. They use, if they gain the access of the SSH, they use port forwarding to access the other services through this port. So what we need to do, we need to disable two port forwarding parameters in this service. So let's do search these, or let's search forwarding. Sorry. Okay, so these are hash, so we need to unhash. Okay, x11 port forwarding is equals to no, and another is the allow TCP port forwarding. It is super important to keep those parameters unhashed and make them know, so the port forwarding is not allowed on the machine. Okay, last and one of the most important change we can do is, if you see here, it is the parameter listen address 0000. Listen address define that what IP address can access this machine through SSH service. So if I know, if it's if my server is in my data center and I'm not using a public IP, I'm on a certain VLAN and I'm using a private IP for my server, and I know that only a certain group of people or only my 3 system or 4 system admin are going to access this machine. So I can put their passwords specifically here, and only those machines can use the service. Like if I know I have 2 server admin and their machines address is 192.168.1.21 and 192.168.1.31. These are my 2 system administrator whom I want to give access to this service. So I will put their listen address, and you can put even the complete, if I know my IT network is 192.168.1 dot star. So sorry, 1 second dot star. So that will give access to the complete VLAN. So these are the certain things. I will put them in the description as well, and you can leave your comments as always for any question. But if you do these certain steps, it will make your, apart from that, we will learn in the future tutorials how to configure the firewalls and other security parameters for your Linux server. But these are the small changes that will have a big impact on the security of your machine. After closing this, you can run the command service SSSD restart to apply these changes, and all the changes we just made will be applied. So that's good for today, and we will return soon with new commands and new services. Goodbye, friends.